why women are not really happier choosing a career over family. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, share this video. Any engagement will help. It's a brand new channel. I have 0 followers. I appreciate you. Who is Dr. Jennifer Morse?
Jennifer Roback Morse, born 1953, is an economist, a writer, and a Catholic social conservative. She is the president and founder of the Ruth Institute, which was formed as an affiliated of the same-sex marriage opposition group, National Organization for Marriage.
Okay, so that's some real quick background on Dr. Jennifer Morse. Here in just a minute, we're fixing to do like a reaction to a podcast that she made discussing why women are not really happier choosing a career over family. And I just did a video sort of about the same topic, reacting to Patrick Bet-David with Valuetainment. And the reason why I like that video is because he has a lot of stats as to why women who chose their career thinking that they would be happier are actually, in the long game, they're not happier. The thing is, there's a strong cultural narrative and sort of a cultural push for women to be like more self-sufficient, so-called independent women, a boss bitch. You might have heard that term. So the narrative is basically that it's more empowering to be independent and not be a wife or a housewife, a mother, like a more submissive role, a homemaker. But the thing is, if you watch that other video with Patrick Bet-David, he has so many stats and he's done so much research, and he, like I said, he probably has like a whole team of people that helps him recover this data. But the thing is, there's so much data to support that as women get older, their perspective starts to change, and the things that they find that they believe would make them happy starts to also change. As it does when we get older, our perspective changes, and the things that we want changes. And there's so much data to support the fact that when women have chose their career and they didn't have kids, they didn't get married, as they get older, they become less and less happy and start regretting those decisions. Look, I understand if you want to have a career, you want to be dedicated, that's completely up to you. You're able to do what you want. This is just, the point of this video is only to offer a different perspective to help you make decisions that may make you a happier person in the long run. All right, let's see what Jennifer Morse has to say here.
See, this is a good point, right? Because you're, in this hypothetical example, asking somebody who's not on board with you yet, who may feel that to attack contraception is insane, out of date, wrong, okay, but you're calling them to ask the question, to be open to where you're going. So let me ask you something that maybe you are opposed to. Were we wrong to ever encourage women to go into the workforce, mothers to go into the workforce? What has that done? What has the results of that been?
Yes. I'm willing to talk about that.
Because I'm asking somebody who has a PhD and obviously works for an institution, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, by the way. That's not my position, but I want to ask the question.
I think in this book I talk a little bit about feminism, because I avoid the word feminism, so let's continue to avoid the word feminism and go right back to the question: were we wrong to encourage women to go into the workforce, to encourage
mothers in particular,
to encourage? And I think I'm going to say yes, we were wrong. That is wrong to encourage mothers to go into the workplace, as if that is normal, as if that is to be desired, as if that is superior to the raising of children. I think that was a wrong turn. I definitely think that was a wrong turn. And it's a wrong turn that many women have suffered greatly from. Greatly. Okay, Matt?
How so? What's your experience been in talking to these women?
Oh, honey. Oh. Well, okay, so I was born in 1953. So that means I came of age when all of this stuff was coming of age, right? And I was very drawn to the idea that I should get a job, that I should have an education. I was good in school, and I have intellectually a lot of intellectual interests, and so I was very drawn to careerism, what I would call careerism. But you don't see the downside of it until it's too late to do anything about it. And so in my case, the particular downside of it was I postponed childbearing for so long that we ended up with a long period of infertility. Okay. And that, for me, that was the crisis. That's when I came back to the faith.
Wow.
See, I was a cradle Catholic, memorized the Baltimore Catechism in 4th grade. Thomism for children, as I'm sure you know.
Sure,
That's what that is.
Essentially.
So I abandoned the faith, and but it was infertility that brought me back to the faith, because this is where I could see that I'm not in control of everything. I can't control the outcome, get everything I want by working harder, being smart, so on and so forth. But by the time you are in your mid-30s and struggling to conceive, you look back and you go, criminy, I can't fix this problem. I can't go back to my 20s. I can't go back and undo the sexual misadventures that I had that led me here, that led me to postpone marriage, and all of those things. The priority that I put on my education, the priority that I put on my career, the way I treated my husband because of that,
How did you treat your husband?
Let me finish this one thought. I'll go back to it. All of that, I couldn't go back and get that lost time. And whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, there is a ticking fertility clock. That's a reality. And so millions of women have had the exact same experience, and every last one of them thinks they're the only one. It's horrible. When you really think about that, it's horrible. In the meantime, Phyllis Schlafly was trying to tell us.
Who's this?
Phyllis Schlafly. Oh, okay. She's not important in a way.
Okay, that's all right.
The previous generation was trying to tell us that it's possible to raise your children and then go to college and then go to law school. That's possible. That option has been there for a long time, but nobody ever talked about that as a correct path for women, which tells you that there was something corrupting about that form of feminism and that messaging and all that. That was about something else other than women's choice and empowerment. See, that's you then take the next step to think, I was sold a bill of goods there. But anyway, the point is that once you figure out that it was that priority that you placed was incorrect, it's too late to do anything about it. And the other thing that has happened as a result of that whole let's push women into the labor force is that they don't look for spouses at a time when they should be looking for spouses. It affects how we interact, male and female, the expectations we have of each other. And now I'll answer your question. What about my husband? How was I treating my husband? Okay, so I had it in mind, as the feminists have told us, that we must have equality in the home, in the work in the home, because that's what's really holding women back. What's holding women back is their husbands aren't doing enough of the chores. Okay, so you fool around with that for very long, you're going to create a lot of dissension and ill at ease inside the home, right? That infertility was the first time in our marriage where it was really, really obvious that men and women are different. And it's like, that is really stinking weird. And it took that long to figure that out. But the truth is, this wanting to conceive and being unable to conceive cuts to the heart of your maleness and your femaleness, and we each reacted to it in different ways. I expected him to understand me perfectly. Well, maybe I should give him a break and try to understand him, on his terms instead of on my terms all the time, So I didn't expect this, Matt, but in my spirit of being forthright, I think the question you asked was a good question because it was focused on one thing. And I have to say, I think it was a mistake. I think it's still a mistake to tell women that their highest priority is to go to work.
So like she said, millions of women are actually dealing with the same issue of regretting not having children, not having a family. As they get older, they probably find themselves alone and not a good support system around them. And she mentioned something about Phyllis Schlafly, which I don't really know a whole lot about her, but there is one clip. This is from a movie or a series or something, but it's a clip of course, somebody playing the character, Phyllis Schlafly, giving a speech, and I kind of like it, and I just want to share it before I wrap the video up. Remember, please like and subscribe. This is a brand new channel. I have 0 followers. Share it if you would. Leave a comment on what your thoughts, what you think about this particular issue. Let's check this clip out right here.
So it may come as a surprise to you that today I am not going to talk about the Soviet military threat, but rather another threat. A threat to the traditional American family. A threat that is just as dangerous and even more insidious. The threat of the women's liberation movement. Well, let me be clear. I am not against women succeeding. I am not against women working outside the home. That's their choice. But what I am against is a small elitist group of Northeastern establishment liberals putting down the homemakers. Now, The livers love to say that they're dedicated to choice. But if you dare to choose the path of full-time mother, well, there must be something wrong with you. I mean, if you don't feel enslaved, well, you're just dumb and unenlightened. In fact, you're not even a person. Because you see, the women's liberation movement is basically a very negative attitude toward life. It tells women, sister, the cards are stacked against you. When you wake up in the morning, you won't get a job. And if you do, it won't be a good one. And if you get a good one, you won't get promoted. And if you get married, your husband will treat you like a servant. And marriage is just a lot of dirty diapers and dirty dishes. But don't take my word for it. Read their own literature. Betty Friedan, mother of the movement, wrote in The Feminine Mystique that marriage is, and I quote, a comfortable concentration camp. But it is not enough that they're demeaning us in the press. Oh no. Now they want to use our miraculous Constitution to create a sex-neutral society through this so-called Equal Rights Amendment, which will mean that that baby girl will be drafted. And the men will be at home nursing the babies. I mean, can you imagine if Buck was left in charge of your children?
Oh, God help us.
Yes, that's right. It's ridiculous, and it's downright un-American. Because women are the primary caregivers in the home because we bear the children. And if the liberationists have a problem with that, they're going to have to take it up with God. Because what is going to happen if you push women out into the workforce is that women are going to find themselves with 2 full-time jobs. And they're going to be exhausted and unhappy and feel like they're not doing either well until eventually they decide not to have children at all. Maybe that's the liberationist goal. I mean, after all, their hero is Gloria Steinem, a single, childless woman nearing 40, but she is the sort of miserable, pathetic woman they aspire to be. She wants some kind of constitutional cure for her personal problems. And perhaps that is why the liberationists are trying to sow these seeds of discontent among we happily married women. They want us to join them in some new sisterhood of frustrated togetherness, because none of them can find a man who wants to marry them.
All right, so that was kind of a funny clip, but she does bring up a couple pretty good points. The thing is, we are seeing this happen, okay? Marriages are on the decline. Relationships are not working out, I would say probably more than ever. Less women are having children. These are things that are happening. And look, you're allowed your own choice, and that's fine. And she has another good point. A lot of men nowadays don't want to engage in relationships with these overly masculine women. It is kind of like the natural order of things is a little out of balance. Look, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, share this video. Any engagement will help. It's a brand new channel. I have 0 followers. I appreciate you.